Hey guys, so it's time to go ahead and make another video of probably two upcoming phones that I'm gonna go ahead get here pretty soon in the upcoming months. It's gonna be the LG Optimus 4X, which is basically LG's high-end device for 2012, versus Samsung's new smartphone, the Galaxy S2 successor, the Samsung Galaxy S3 that they did unveil yesterday. Finally, we can go ahead and compare these two phones. And just as I said with the HTC One X versus the Galaxy S3 video, when I compared the full specs, I'm gonna say it right here as well. It's not that much difference, okay? Because these companies are competitors, so usually they know what's new and everything, so they have many specs are the same. So let's just go ahead and start off this video and talk here. So we got the announcement of the LG Optimus 4X in February, and Samsung waited. They didn't unveil it on like CES or something, so we got it yesterday, but I still haven't released it. But I have looked on when like stores and stuff is gonna get this phone, and right now it seems like they are expecting it to come in mid-May to late May, but that of course could also be delayed, but hopefully it won't be delayed. And Samsung yesterday said that the Galaxy S3 is going to be available in Europe on May the 29th. If we compare that to last year with the Galaxy S2, that already was available in the beginning of May, so a little difference there. And also a major difference with the Galaxy S3, it's going to be available already in June in the States, so that's kind of great. So yeah, that's the thing, both these two phones aren't really out on the market right now, so I can't get my hands on these devices to feel the build quality, to feel how the first impression is with LG's new UI updates and Samsung's new TouchWiz that they made so many improvements to. I have the new S voice, you have the new voice track, and you have a ton of good fun things there. The body, the dimensions, so the thickness of the device, many people like to be, very, very thin. We remember last year with the Galaxy S2, that was like the thinnest device, 8.5 millimeters or something. The Galaxy S3 is gonna be 8.6, so a tiny inch bigger there. But the Optimus 4 is gonna be 8.9, so it still will be thinner than that one. Same with HTC One X, it's also around like 8.7, 8.9 or something. So the Galaxy S wins Dia. We don't know the weight of the Optimus 4X right now, but 133 grams on the Galaxy S3, and I think that's slightly heavier than the Galaxy S2. Okay, so let's go down to display. Both are of course running a 720p display, not this 1080p smartphone that the Galaxy S3 would have according to BGR. LG is doing their HD IPS LCD display, and Samsung uses their Super AMOLED capacitive touchscreen Super AMOLED HD display with kind of like the same technology as in the Galaxy Nexus. So I think it's all up to what you prefer. I mean, both these are amazing displays, and I think with LG's new LTE Optimus LTE 2 that they're gonna launch in Korea, it's gonna have the display Super HD IPS LCD or something, and this is HD IPS. So I think you just have to look up themselves. The AMOLED screens have some quite dark color, and they have some kind of sick contrast and everything, but you just have to look for yourself. Okay, let's go down here. Also, one very interesting thing that a lot of people is not mentioning is that the new Galaxy S3 is coming with Gorilla Glass 2 that should protect your device even more than the Galaxy S2. Now you do know that I tried out the sledgehammer on the Galaxy S2, and that it did take it pretty good from around how was it, like 50 centimeters or something like that. But then when I made a massive sledgehammer test, like 2 meters almost, then it did break, or could be 1.5 meters. I'm not sure what the kind of protection the LG Optimus 4X is gonna have. I never tried to break it, but I assume it's got like Gorilla Glass, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be Gorilla Glass 2. If we go down, the memory, also very, very nice thing here is that both these two phones support micro SD, 32 gigabyte. It seems like on the Optimus 4X, and 64 gigabyte on the Galaxy S3. Now I'm not quite sure why it says 32 gigabyte here on the Optimus 4X. I think it can support 64 gigabyte as well. If you go down to internal here, Samsung really do crush with they're gonna have a ton of variants of the phone, like 16, 32, and 64 gigabytes of storage plus a gigabytes of RAM on both these phones. The Optimus 4X is going to be only be available in a 16 gigabyte variant. And if you go down here, let's see GPRs. I think these two are kind of the same. And LTE, of course, going to be on the Galaxy S3, and I assume that in Korea they also have like LTE variants or something. But I'm not sure about international. But I think Samsung's gonna have like tons of more variants of the Galaxy S3 because they're bigger and they can do that. But I'm not really sure there about the LG. If you go down to the camera, it should be the same kind of there, 8 megapixel camera. Will be interesting to check out the app on LG's Optimus 4X to see how the camera app is and everything. You do know on the new Galaxy S3 you have that burst mode, just as we have with the HTC One X. But I'm not sure if you can take a video and take pictures at the same time as you can with the HTC One X. And I really want to check out the camera app on both these two phones. 1080p at 30 frames per second should be the same. 1.3 megapixel rear-facing camera on the Optimus 4X, and 1.9 on the Galaxy S3. If you go down here, of course, both are running Android 4.0 ICS. Sony, I'm still waiting for you to release Android 4.0 ICS for your high-end device, the Xperia S. I'm looking at you, Sony. The Android version is 4.0.4 on the Galaxy S3, so it's a slightly newer version that we're probably going to see on the Optimus 4X. And Samsung can do this because they are friends with Google. They have the Galaxy Nexus right now, which is always running like the latest stock version of Android. And we do know that it seems like Samsung is maybe doing the next Galaxy device for Google as well. If you go down here, okay, chipset, also very interesting thing here. That's also Samsung's always using their own chipset, their Exynos chipset, and this new 4212 quad chipset. That really is interesting if you look at it in benchmarking tests versus what you get in the Optimus 4X, which is the NVIDIA Tegra 3, which I played around with a lot on the HTC One X, and it's just amazing how quick and everything it is. I have it also on my Asus Transformer Prime, and it's just an amazing experience if you compared it against any other. And of course, it was the first quad-core tablet, the Transform Prime, and the Tegra 3 is an amazing platform, and it will be fun to compare it against Samsung's new Exynos 4212, Exynos 4 quad. If you go down, of course, both are running quad-core, 1.4 GHz Cortex A9, based on Cortex A9 on the Galaxy S3, 1.5 GHz Cortex A9, so a little bit higher there on Tegra 3 and the clock thing. The GPU is of course the ULP GeForce on the Optimus 4X, and that's what you get with NVIDIA Tegra 3, and Samsung is doing their Mali 400MP, same as in the S2, but they have overclocked it around 50%. Kind of insane that they can do that, but from what I've seen, it should perform around 50 to like 65% better than the Galaxy S2. But nice to get that little overclock, and that when they still were doing the same kind of GPU and stuff, that they really did overclock it and everything, and gotta give some credit there for them to do that. If you go down here, browser, yeah, we have the kind of same stuff down here. I'm really think that the new TouchWiz is gonna kill LG's custom UI. Samsung really did unveil a ton of new features in TouchWiz. What was it, like S-Voice, eye tracking, that the display should be able to turn off when you look away from it. I'm kind of skeptical. I'm not really sure if that could just be gimmick features, but it's cool to see where they're taking TouchWiz from version 4.0. And also gotta give some credit here for LG to bring out a pretty insane battery here, 2140 milliamps on their Optimus 4X versus Samsung's new battery that's gonna be 2100 milliamps. Now, of course, they are kind of the same, almost kind of the same. Optimus 4X wins here a little bit with 40 more extra milliamps. But I mean, if you just look at LG's now Optimus 4X and the Galaxy S3, both are running on 2000 plus milliamps, and then HTC One X only comes with 1800 milliamps. That's a little bit disappointing over there. But of course, it has a lot of to do with the software as well, how much batteries it's gonna drain, because we do know that the new NVIDIA Tegra 3 has this companion core that should help a lot for the battery, but I'm not really sure if I've seen that right now. And I do know that HTC One X with their HTC Sense should be pretty resource heavy from what I've heard. But yeah, these are the two phones that I could get my hands on here pretty soon, and it's gonna be so exciting to check them out, to review them, and hopefully when I get hands on these devices, I also get the Android 4.0 ICS update for the Sony Xperia S. I really would love to try out some stock Android 4.0 on the Xperia S. It just sucks to be running on Android 2.3 right now. And also, of course, I'm waiting for the Android 4.0 update for my 2011 Android smartphone from Samsung, the Galaxy Note. It really needs that update, and I do know that Samsung has been delaying it here a little bit, but they are delaying it, but they're adding more features. Than the Galaxy S2 is not going to have a kind of like a new S Memo app and a ton of awesome things like that. But is it a big difference on these two phones? No, probably not. I really need to get my hands on these devices to really do a full check to see what the hell do I want to use as my main phone for the upcoming year here, probably. I mean, I've been using my Galaxy Note for I think it's around a half a year now, and that's a long time. So I want to try something new. And yeah, have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.